You're perpetuating violence upon the most innocent animals, and you can stop today. It's a non-action to be vegan. You just don't pay for it. You just don't pay for the violence, oppression, mutilation, kidnap of animals. And what I am saying, my words are extreme, but the action of being a vegan is not. I speak with fury and passion because the animals need us to. They're being stabbed. They're being killed right now in this place called a slaughterhouse. And this place and all the places will market to the world humane. And everyone's believing it. Who the hell is believing humane slaughter? I used to believe that too. I was indoctrinated from a child, from birth. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you aren't vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap this live stream. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Double tap this screen by liking it. It pushes this live out to more people to see the eyes of the animals. When people see the eyes of the animals, they change.
How did it feel when you saw the animals come past?
It's unbearable. It's unbearable. I hate it. I hate it so much, but I'm not the victim. They're looking out to me, I feel like, for help. And I can't save those animals in there today. We're already too late for those animals. If I went through those gates and I tried to help those animals and get them off here, I'd be put in prison. That's what would happen. So the best thing that I can do is stand here, documenting what's happened so that good people who see this live go vegan and change. That's how we make these industries collapse. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Cows from the dairy industry are inside here right now being stabbed in the throat for cow's milk.
What would people say if these trucks had dogs on them right now?
Dogs? Did you say dogs?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I don't know, because we also have animal testing facilities. MBR is in the UK. They breed beagle puppies for animal testing. So is the world really that evil? Is the world really that evil? Is it only when humans are put in these trucks that people do anything about it? Why is it when somebody looks different to you but has all the moral consistencies like feel pain, sentience and experience life that you suddenly switch off your empathy? When I look at the eyes of the animals, in fact, I see an angel, I see a child, I see a vulnerable being who needs protection. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live. Please subscribe, comment, like, share. Vegans, put hearts in the comments, spam the comments with hearts right now. Tomorrow, we have got a massive event happening outside all the slaughterhouses around the world. We'll be going live, documenting pigs in gas chambers, baby chickens in gas chambers, male calves in the dairy industry being killed inside slaughterhouses, turkeys being forced in gas chambers. You realise how much I'm saying gas chamber? The majority of the way animals are killed are in CO2 gas chambers. Go and look at Joey Carvstrong, who exposed the first, he put cameras in the UK gas chambers for the first ever time. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live, like, comment, share and subscribe, please.
Who are we here with today? What are we doing? What's our objective?
We're here in collaboration with Animal Aid today. Go and look in our description at the investigations that they have done around the UK. You can have a look for yourself. If you're in this chat, by the way, saying, oh, well, I think halal's bad, but standard is fine, go and have a look, because you won't notice the difference between halal and standard. They lie to everybody. Everyone thinks, oh, it's all different ways. No, it's not. They all get stabbed in the throat. Every single animal gets stabbed in the throat, hung upside down and bled out. Every single animal has their skin ripped off their body. Ripped off their body. Are you listening to the words that I am saying? Forcible impregnation, kidnap, mutilation. They rip genitals off animals with no anaesthetic. They cut their tails off with no anaesthetic. They put these really tight elastic bands around the sheep's tails.
Looks like these drivers are talking to each other now.
Yeah, they're triggered. The lady's very triggered. I've not seen her before. She was having a hissy fit because there was a camera. But if you're going to do something that exploits animals, then expect to be exposed.
Yeah.
Because our passion is more furious than money could ever be. So we're always going to be here. If you're doing this, we're going to be here. You stop, we stop. Simple as that. If they stop doing this, around the world and animals have liberation and rights, we don't have to protest then, do we? 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. They're killing animals in here today. Every day they kill animals, 5 days a week, all over the world, every single day. Did you know some slaughterhouses run 24/7? The gas chambers, gassing piglets all day in these facilities. We're at Pilgrim's Pride last week. You know, we saw a truck at a petrol station. I said, I know where you're going. I named the slaughterhouse he was going to, and he said, no, I'm not, no, I'm not. And then I literally caught him on camera going into that slaughterhouse. I don't think he expects us to know where he actually was going. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you aren't vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap this live stream, comment, subscribe.
Who came in on these trucks?
What's that?
Who came in on these trucks?
What are they doing?
Who came in on these trucks?
Cows from the dairy industry. There were mother cows on that truck on the right from the dairy industry. Grieving mothers. The reason I say grieving mothers is because they had pregnancy forced upon them. They had their babies kidnapped from them. They cried for their babies. They mourned for their babies. If that was a human, they would need help. They would need help for trauma. If someone took your child away from you, that's probably the worst thing that could happen, right? Now they've been taken inside a slaughterhouse. Don't forget, when I talk, I'm talking to you about standard practice, not cruelty. I'm talking to you about standard farming practice. Every single animal farmer does this. Every single one. Don't be mugged off by the words like humane, free range, local, organic. It's a load of crap. It means nothing to the animals.
You know what stuns me is the fact that these drivers who have brought them animals in here today to die are just sitting there chatting and laughing like they're having a social meeting.
Messed up, psychopathic behaviour. Animals are being stabbed in the throat behind them who they brought in, and they're laughing and chatting like nothing's going on. We have friends who used to work in the industry. He said when the animals come in, they even looked to the workers for help and no mercy was given. They were just stabbed in the throat. They had their skin ripped off their body whilst they're still alive. They had their babies cut out their stomach whilst they were still alive. Do you know what happens if a cow is pregnant? They chop into her stomach, they open up the sac and they leave the baby to suffocate and die on the floor. For what? So you can have a bit of cow's milk in your tea? Just switch it to oat milk. Switch it. There's the alternatives for everything. We should never be doing this to animals. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream. That truck's coming out quick.
Go.
It's a shame, but I see the cows in the lairage here. See them in the lairage. How could you? How could you do this? How could anybody do this? This truck had cows on. Now I can see them in there. Steve, we go on there quick, might be able to quickly see the cows in the lairage. Betrayed those animals. Yeah, I can see them there. What the hell did these animals do? Nothing. They're angels, these animals. How? Who? Who would have said, let's open up a place where we kill animals? Who would have said, I know, let's make this individual pregnant, I'll take her baby and I'll drink her milk? Who the hell would have said that? Psychopaths.
Evil.
Psychopaths would have said that. The same mindset as Jeffrey Dahmer, okay? 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. I'm just going to switch in with Steve quick. It's breaking my heart.
Well done. Guys, we're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. Please go into the description of this live stream, hit the 3 dots, hit the top link, go and see their investigation pages. Their investigations have been conducted by Animal Aid all over the UK, and it'll bring you the reality and the truth. You'll be able to see inside the very facilities that we're stood outside of. You'll be able to see the reports done on this very facility. Now, Animal Aid done a report. Now, I want to just reiterate that we're not here for welfare. We're here for animal rights. We're here for the abolition of exploiting animals. But the FSA, who all of the consumers trust so much, came here and done a report back in June 2025. Now that report was general satisfactory, but it had 6 major non-compliances and it had 18 minor non-compliances. Go to Animal Aid's website in the description of that link and go and read the report. It will absolutely shock you. And again, it creates the doubt, the seeds of corruption, that why are these places still operating when these things have been found to be absolutely horrific? Why? And why the consumer never told? Why is the public never told? Why is there never public announcement? Why is it activists that go into slaughterhouses and farms? Why isn't the RSPCA doing it? I'll tell you why. Because the RSPCA Assured Scheme certifies slaughterhouses. They certify gas chambers for 6 months old piglets. If you're a number 2, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're a kind person but you're not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. But if you're a number 2, did you know that the RSPCA Assured stamp is on 6 month old piglets who have been put inside gas chambers? That's right. The Royal Society of the Protection of Cruelty to Animals Assurance Scheme says that it's okay to put 6 month old piglets inside CO2 gas and gas them. Absolutely horrific, but the consumer never questions any further than seeing the RSPCA stamp.
The irony that someone said we're talking nonsense has been taken to court